BKLA Pop-Up. And thank you so much for everybody that has supported me, supported us.
I'm Jivanta Roberts. Welcome to my new pop-up shop, BKLA. We are being hosted by the one and only Genever LA. It's going down in about 2 minutes. I'm super excited. We have some beautiful vendors, amazing product, special guest panelists. So wait and see.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Well, thank you everybody for being here. I'm so appreciative of every single one of you. Let's just get started. I would love to introduce the... Hello? This is better. I would love to introduce the panel. First and foremost, yeah, what is that?
I don't think you need it.
You don't think I need it?
I don't think you need it.
Okay. All right, well, I can yell. I want to introduce everyone up here. It's so important to me. I thank you so much for doing this. Now, this is my first event I've ever put together in my life. Congratulations. I was so nervous, and I'm doing multiple things. I'm producing, I'm doing hair, selling oil, and it's been a crazy ride, an amazing journey. You know, we're only in February, so I'm super grateful. But I wanted to create this because of women like myself that are doing amazing things, that have products on the side, they have their boutiques, they're in the food and beauty space, but they don't necessarily have a storefront or have the opportunity or time to sell their little things on the side. You know, so I think it's really important that we build a community, that we support one another, and these are my ride or dies. And that's not what we could.
Yes, we did.
And I just think it's so important that we stick together and just support one another. So I want to build this out more. I would love to do one in Brooklyn. I would love to do one in Atlanta. And, bi-monthly or monthly, depending on how this goes. But I just want to thank everyone here for supporting us. And so let's get to it. So I would love to just go down the row and just introduce yourself and, five key points. Okay, so Latrice Gregory. She's a creative director. She's the creative director of the Clippers. She's creative director of Cardi B. Everybody. She does. Okay. Under Tanisha Scott. She's an actress. She's done amazing things. She's in everybody's commercial. So that's Latrice.
Yes, right here.
Yes,
Hey everybody, my name is Jania Frederica Ponte. I'm a writer and director, and I own the line, the Frederic Collection, that I'm very excited about, and excited to be here.
I'll be next. I'm Leah Bostic, and I'm a casting director and associate casting director at LDB Casting. And I'm just really excited to be here.
Nice.
Hi guys, my name is Angela. You can find me everywhere, Angela C. Styles. I am a hairstylist. I work in television and film. I have a studio. I wrote Hair back here, which is a children's book dedicated to letting our next generation know how beautiful their natural hair is and how amazing it is to have curly hair. I also am the owner of Conscious Curls Hair, which is a hair extensions line, and I have 6 different products under the line. We also donate 10% to nonprofits, and this year we are partnered with Step Up, which is a young women's organization that helps underprivileged girls get them to the next levels in life. So college, after college, becoming successful entrepreneurs, and just entering the workplace successfully. So that's me.
So I think the most important thing for me is balance. Trying to balance life, trying to balance multiple careers. Earlier this year, I was literally doing everything. I just choreographed the whole tour for young girls, and now I'm casting, and so I think it's been challenging for me to balance all of these things, and also like finding finding the strength to believe in all of my talents equally. And so I want to just talk to every single one of you and ask you, as a woman that does it all, like, how do you find the time to balance and manage all of the various projects that you have? And you can go that one.
Sure. It is difficult because you want to be great for everyone, like, that you are working with. You don't want anyone to be shorted because you've taken on so much. So that's one of the things that I struggle with, and I just try to make sure that each place that I'm at in that moment, I am present and I'm not thinking about the next thing or like a personal thing. And I know that it seems overrated and overworked, but like really making sure that you're staying present of like the project that you're working on right then, and preparing for that project before you go into it, so that you're not having to like kind of snowball in thought while you're there. You're just able to be actively there and participating. And finding like little places for me time, like in the car, I listen to podcasts, or like music that like relaxes and calms me, or I will, you know, talk to a family member or a friend that I haven't talked to in a while, because I also feel like sometimes I'm like, there's days where I'm like, I'm a terrible director, I'm a terrible dancer, I'm a terrible sister and girlfriend, and I'm falling short of everything, but then to just make sure that, remind yourself that you're not, and then just touch home base in those in-between moments when you can gather your thoughts and just kind of like bring it back to here.
A lot of what you said I totally agree with. I really try to start my day by not going to my phone first, because there's always a million things that we can be doing. So I try to at least spend the first hour of my waking getting clear, getting centered, you know, prayer, meditation. I try to have that moment, and it's really great when no one is awake in the house. Or if you live alone, obviously that's easy. But for me, everything that I'm involved in, it's just stuff that I love. So whether when I'm working on my collection, every single piece I love, and it's me tapping into my creativity. When I'm writing, that's me tapping into my creativity. Directing, I get to flex all of my muscles all of the time in my craft, because I love interiors, I love costume design, I love all of that. And as a director, I create a world. So I get to feel all of that. So the balance comes from me just following my passion over and over and over again. And then where else am I? I'm passionate about my family, I'm passionate about my husband, I'm passionate about my friends. So as I move, I'm just being myself in every single department. So I think that helps me find, you know, in balance.
I think for me it's allowing people to help, you know, because I feel like I want to do everything myself because I know it'll get done how it's supposed to be done. You know what I mean? But allowing and trusting the people you allow to help, you know, for me, it's just, that's a big thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that you guys said, but most days I don't feel like I'm balanced at all. Like, just being honest. Some days, because I work with clients, I have to give so much of myself to other people that there isn't a lot of time for me to focus on my book or focus on this or that. And so yes, delegating is one thing, but then also just being kind to yourself and saying, okay, it'll get done later this week. I'm a huge advocate for like making lists. Like I love lists. I live my life that way. And so those check marks, once I cross it off or check it off, I'm like, okay, like yes, you did that. And if I didn't, it's like, all right, I'm gonna get to you tomorrow. You know, and I just try to get to what I can get to as quickly as possible, but also being kind and saying, okay, well, maybe I was a little bit overly ambitious because you can't do that many things in a day, and it's okay. And treat myself. So then I'll do something that is not a part of my plan, like go to the spa or take a class or meditate or something, and then just get back to the actual plan. But I honestly don't really feel like you're gonna ever be 100% balanced. I don't think it exists. And we see all these people that are so happy and they have their life so together and they're so perfect, and you think you're supposed to have that, but the reality is they got something lacking too. Either a bill is not paid, or their relationships need some communication upgrades, or something. And so it's okay to just not have it all together. I think that's the biggest thing. Like nobody does.
Great. I have here, what are some misconceptions of being a female entrepreneur? But I think that goes in part with two-part question. What has been your biggest hurdle in any one of your careers? And how did you overcome it?
My biggest hurdle is myself. My own mindset of like not always believing in myself, not believing that I am prepared and ready for the moment that comes my way. That has most definitely been my biggest hurdle. Just reminding myself that like all the things I did coming up to this is what prepared me for it, and I am able.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome is so real. And at every phase of my life, I felt like, I don't think they know that. But the reality is, I do know. And that's why God put me in that position. And it's like, you know, you kind of just have to realize that everybody else is faking it too, most of the time. You know, and so that is definitely probably the biggest obstacle, is just getting over the idea that you're not supposed to be there, and then just focusing on the fact that, well, I'm here, so let me give them the best thing I can give them. But it's challenging, for sure.
I think for me is making a name for myself under, you know, my circumstances are a little bit different. My family is in the industry, so just kind of stepping away from them and then, you know, having to prove myself, like, you know. So that's been my biggest hurdle, personally, you know, making a name for myself and proving myself, going the extra mile to show, like, I'm here because I'm supposed to be here, you know. I'm here because I have an eye for talent. I'm here, you know, for the reason that I'm supposed to be here.
For me, it's definitely been myself, you know, just believing in myself over and over again with every single milestone. I was just telling my friends yesterday, like, it's not a question of getting what you want, it's of being prepared when it shows up.
Hello.
Because it will show up. But you just have to be prepared for it and say, okay, I'm here, I deserve it, this is working out, good, because sometimes we could push it away, we can become afraid, we could sabotage, but if we just make a decision to get out of the way, like you said, some of the misconceptions is, I was afraid when I started my line. Like, I was legit like, oh my God, like, what if people don't get it, like, you know, and I just said, just create what you love, like just, you know, pull from pieces that you love and that sort of thing. But it is very frightening, and that we can't let fear stop us. Period.
Awesome. And one last question, and then we'll go to Q&A. What are some ways in which we can support one another and really, really build a community amongst us, our people?
I think honesty, like allowing their, like, being vulnerable with one another, because everyone's trying to walk around being tough and having it all together, and be like, girl, I don't have it all together, and it's cool if you don't too. Let's talk about it, because something that you might have together that I don't, we can share in that, and we can uplift each other in that, as opposed to trying to just put that armor on and be like, nope, I got it, I'm good, like, you good, you know, and not really checking in, not really connecting and talking to one another.
I think being a role model for the younger kids, you know what I mean, being a positive example and speaking life into them, letting them know that they can do whatever they put their mind to, you know what I mean, as long as they believe in themselves and they can see where it is that they're trying to get to.
Yeah, I would say not being afraid to talk about money. I think that, especially in the Black community, like we don't talk about money enough, and the people who are really making money, they like talking about money. Like, we have to get comfortable with like sharing, like, what's your credit score, girl? Like, I'm trying to get mine up 50 more points, like, or are you investing in these stocks? Like, what are you investing in? Like, what do you think? Where do you think I should start? Or you have any mutual funds? Or where should I be putting my money for retirement? And we don't have enough of those conversations. We talking about who got a tattoo on their face and who broke up with these kind of things, and they're not helping us become financially equipped and to be successful to pass on to the next generation, to offer opportunities to the younger people. And we still struggling, not having it together in our, 50s, 60s, like how are we gonna empower anybody? We're still working check to check. So I think that's a huge thing for us as far as support is being honest, like you guys said, and talking about money so we can help the kids,
I would say, like, just take a break from these major designers. Like, if we want to help each other, like, my startup was really the price of a bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that we needed proof, but I know for a fact Gucci, Louis, they don't really care about us. No. They know that we love their product and it feels good. Like, I definitely had my moment, and I'm not getting rid of my pieces that I still have. But I made a decision that I wasn't going to buy any more of those. But now I get to support. These glasses come from my girl's line right over there. I had $400 sunglasses. Some of them I lost, But let's just start by buying and supporting from Black and brown people, and just say, just give me a good leather bag.
Yeah.
And maybe just for a moment, just when you take a break from needing the labels or needing that to define you, it clears a space in your brain, I promise. And we can start to support each other. That's what Jewish people are doing over and over and over again. And they've made a decision, like, I'm gonna buy from you, I'm gonna buy from you, I'm gonna buy from you, oh, I'm gonna get this from you too. That's what we need to do more of on a regular basis, just supporting each other.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Okay, so I want to extend the Q&A portion. Does anyone have any questions for any one of us on this panel?
I do, actually. So when you first started your businesses, what guidance or what direction did you go to as far as getting the legalities of it, like the LLC if you have that, or the partnership, or whatever branding or trademark that you needed to do? Did you do that? And if so, how can you steer any of us who may have ideas to create our own businesses?
Well, for the oils and also my production company, I just went online and I registered with the state. I think you can use LegalZoom and other services, and that's kind of how I got started. And then, this is like, I asked her for everything. So literally, like, I'm like, what should I do? I just call her, but she can just call me. She knows everything. No, but that's how I started. So, this is a soft launch, and I just Googled and went online, but this is another way. Now you have all of us. I hope that I encourage everybody in this room that if you don't know the person to the left or the right of you, please, let's get together and really, really support one another and communicate and help one another.
Oh, I wanted to touch on that too. So my attorney puts together like business startup packages. If you're interested, I can give it to you. It's already tailored, and then she just talks to you about what your specific needs are. Because taxing and stuff is so different because of the presidency, everything. It's important to also have a really good tax attorney so they can kind of walk you through what's most important for your company, depending on if you're going to have employees or if you're going to be selling product versus however you're going to do it, it's important to speak to someone. So you can do it through LegalZoom. It's not bad to do it that way if you just want to quickly incorporate, but I would highly suggest speaking to someone, and then depending on how you're doing business, maybe you can create your LLC in Delaware, or you can create it in Nevada or other places. So it's important to talk to them, talk through those types of things, because they can direct you in the right place. But I can give you my attorney's specific information because it's all tailored, and you can really make sure you understand what to do.
Thank you.
Don't let the red tape scare you. Because sometimes it makes you say, oh my God, this is complicated.
Honestly, if you're making less than $40,000, don't register for an LLC because you have to pay the government. You have to pay the state $800. I do believe just do it.
Just start.
I'm a business manager, bookkeeper, so if y'all want to talk to me,
Or don't do it in LA.
or don't do it in
Somewhere other than LA. There's Wyoming. Wyoming is the best place right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, I love this.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to that too. You can actually do the paperwork yourself, start your LLCs or your corporations yourself. What I found in my journey is that it is much safer. And when I say safer, I mean for taxes, I mean for getting sued, not in our case, not getting sued. It's best and much safer to do it through a registered agent that is a law firm. Because when you do it through a registered agent that is a law firm, anybody who tries to get the personal information of the owner of the company cannot get it from the law firm. Because it takes the law firm into a breach of what they call it, confidentiality, because you have become their client for the lifetime of your business. So do it through a registered agent that is a law firm.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that you were frightened. Jania, you mentioned that you were frightened, that you were fearful, and I think, whenever someone is trying to start a new business or venture off into territory that is unfamiliar with them or try something new, that becomes a major obstacle standing in the way of them moving forward and building a business or even starting a business. Can you share with us some of the strategies that you use, whatever they are, to combat that fear and move yourself forward?
You were one of my strategies. No, so Melinda's a great friend of mine. She started a business. Has it been a year now?
We're on our second year.
Okay.
It's going on 2 years.
2 years. Wow, time flies. So she started her business, and for me, it was something that I always wanted to do. And it was really my husband, and her husband, Tariq, was like, Jania, you could do this. Like, you really, if you're not surrounded by people that push you forward and push you past those fears, then you got to get in the circle. But they were like, Jania, you got this, you can do this. And every time I felt afraid, she would walk me through processes or say, listen, you got this, calm down. And I was scared. I was scared the whole way through. But I just did something else every single day. And I'm not even technologically savvy, but I was creating my website on my own. It felt really good. I didn't really have any help in the beginning, but I just did a little bit. And sometimes I would be on a button for 3 hours, just close the computer, come back tomorrow. But it was really just just keep going, just to keep going through that fear. And let me tell you something, you better be praying. Honestly, my mom's death is why, because I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm like, what are you waiting for? So my mom's passing really also gave me a lot of fuel to say, just go for it now. Yeah.
What do you ladies wish you knew before you started your business? Like the advice that you can give to someone starting out that you kind of stumbled upon?
Don't spend a lot of money. Maybe we don't know anything. Yeah, we
I'm so new into it. I'm sure in a year I'll be like,
yeah.
But I just launched in late October, early November.
Something that I'm still learning about is the importance of like fundraising. So I'm not a pro at that. I haven't raised the funds, but it's definitely something that I wish I would have taken more time to learn and understand. And pitching, like knowing how to pitch yourself, your product, like whether you're talking to 2 people or 200 people, being confident in what you sell, what you have, to the point that when people listen to what you have to say, it's undeniable and they retain it. You understand what an elevator pitch is and get it down strong and deliver it as much as possible. Yeah.
I think overcoming fear. Like I was like Janita, like I was so terrified even to do this. And don't listen to people, because people would people will tell you can't do something, and I'm like, watch me do it. So I think just that alone has helped me in my business. Just staying focused, keeping your loved ones around you, your people that are encouraging you and uplifting you, and just that erase that fear. So it was terrifying. That's it.
Can somebody speak to staying focused on your vision? Because there's so much else going out. There's so much chatter, so much noise. Everybody's an expert in how you should, execute your vision. Can you speak to that? Somebody?
Yeah.
Somebody?
That's close to my soul. So I'm from Chicago, born and raised. So I didn't go to college anywhere else. I went to school in Chicago. So by the time I was in my 20s, I was kind of like, ugh, like I have a thirst for living in another city, just getting to know a new place. So I came out here on a whim, met people, was inspired. I was like, I'm gonna move. I already had like a full clientele in Chicago, like plenty of, like I was making great money at 21, and people were like, you're gonna walk away from all of this? I had a house, I was gonna go back to school and finish getting my degree and a double major and get my master's and all this stuff in literature, actually, which is ironic. So many people were trying to deter me from moving because my life looked like it was already good in Chicago. And when I tell you I came out here, I've been on television multiple times, multiple networks. I was a series regular on a show called LA Hair. I won an Emmy. I won an Emmy last year. On and on and on. And when I tell you, like, it's definitely been 10 years since I've been out here. There's been quite a few ups and downs, but people will always try to tell you what you shouldn't do because they're too afraid to follow their dreams. And they'll try to stifle yours and get you to a place where you're supposed to be content. But if you're not content, push through and find your tribe. Find your people who are going to encourage you. Find your people online. Because when I first started, Instagram wasn't popping. Like Twitter was kind of cool, but now you can find your tribe online. So if you don't see them, you can find them. So there's no excuse as to why you shouldn't fulfill your dreams and your purpose. And even if you're not quite sure, just walk in the direction that feels good, and I guarantee you, you will find what you were supposed to be doing and why.
And now I'm going to do it on my own. Can you share your personal conversation you had with yourself?
I think I began as an actress, and then when I moved to the other side of the camera, it's still very similar in that it's a collaboration. Like you can't do what you're doing. It won't happen without a team, and every moving part is important. So to come from that mind state and realize that you do have to incorporate help, support, you just have to pray for discernment and know who you're pulling in, because some people, you could be working with somebody that's resentful or jealous, or they don't really like y'all. So you just have to be discerning in, pulling in people, but you just have to know that help is so vital and needed, like you were saying, like you really hit it on the head. You have to be able to trust people to help out.
It's interesting that you use the word discernment, because I was thinking about the last question. That's kind of one of the ways in which I overcame the hurdles that I hat as well. And it's like trusting that, I believe when I'm divinely guided, it's just trusting that inner source, and if it doesn't feel good, there's a reason for it. Like there's a reason sometimes it doesn't feel good because it's fear, and you know to ignore that lie. But there's also a reason that's telling you that's not it, that person's not it, move this way, move that way, and I just make sure that I am really in tune with that voice, and then I trust that. Even if it's just a small inkling, I trust it, because I know that that's God speaking to me, most definitely.
I think for me, like I said, it was hard for me at first to allow people to help. I wanted people to think that I could do everything by myself, you know what I mean, based off of the circumstances of how I even got into the business, you know what I mean, being overshadowed, you know, by family and stuff, because we're in the business. So I think for me, just realizing like, you cannot do everything. Like you can't. It's impossible to do everything by yourself. Literally, like it's impossible. You know. So it was just literally like one day I woke up, it was like that. It wasn't like a step. I'm just like, you're crazy. You can't do this by yourself. Like there's no way. So that's how it happened for me. It wasn't really like a you know. And then once I did, it felt good. You know, it felt good. It felt good to have some of that pressure. You know. And just to be able to trust somebody else with responsibility, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would say the same. My field is like physically grueling, so standing up or going from a set to trying to do somebody else, and you know, it's physically hard. So I think after a certain point, it was like, well, I can't do social media and this, and you know, and so it was just like, come on, Ange, like, what are you doing? Like, stop, find somebody for that, you know? So now I just try to focus on whoever has strength in a certain area, let me use you, and I can focus on what I can do, you know? And it just makes life easier, and it makes you look better. Like, if you're able to delegate correctly, then you look like the CEO that you are, you know?
That's like, don't be afraid to delegate, and let the people underneath you will be better than you. You kind of want them to be.
Yeah.
Like I want them to have the strengths that I don't have, so that like you're right, it's gonna glorify your name, you know, like it's gonna make you look better. That you have built this incredible team underneath you, and that it runs so efficiently.
Absolutely.
And also, it's a process. Like it's not gonna just happen overnight. You know, trusting people and allowing people to do things. You know what I mean? Realizing that it takes time. You know what I'm saying? So it was hard at first for me to do. It was a big challenge for me to allow and to trust people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then also making sure you find people that you mesh well with. You know what I mean? Because that's also a big thing. If you got somebody who's not really good with taking direction, you know what I mean? Or, you know, that's not going to work. You know what I mean? Or doesn't like to be told what to do. How are you going to work with them? You know what I mean? So just finding a person that you mesh well with, and that you guys complement each other. And each other, you know, where one person lacks, this person is actually more strength. Like I have, right now I would say I have like one of the best partners, you know what I mean? Like where I don't like doing paperwork per se, you know what I'm saying? But she's like so good with that, you know what I mean? I'm more like hands-on with the actors and, you know, talking to the agents and talk, you know what I mean? So, yeah, and I could do that stuff. I had to do it before, you know what I mean? But it's just like, she doesn't mind, you know what I'm saying? She likes that aspect of it, you know what I mean? So we go perfect together, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like my husband and I, we have a production company together, and he literally can do almost everything. But together, we use intuition to hire people. And it's, you know, and we'll look at each other after we like, wow, that was a smart move. You know, so you have to use intuition when you're hiring someone, like she said, that can get the job done better than you would have ever expected, because it does make you look better.
That's our time, though. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Leah. Please exchange numbers. I really want to build a community. I really want to build a strong support system. So please network. Don't feel Hollywood, because we're all family here. And thank you so much again for coming. Thank you. BKLA Pop-Up.